on Spaceship Earth. Um, I feel like there's not going to be really that many people on today. Just my suspicion. And it's usually when I log in, there's already like 3 or 4 people waiting. And at this point, there's zero. And I knew that I was setting myself up for failure because I have zero content right now to talk about. And I was hoping there would be people on asking questions to keep the ball rolling. But here we are a minute into it, and no questions. Let me do no people. All right, so we got one person. Cool. All right, so I'll just kind of talk, just make up things as I go, and hopefully more people will log in. Super windy today. I know I mentioned it like I think yesterday in my video that is the one element I hate. I hate windy weather for a number of reasons. Oh, by the way, I just woke up too. Went to sleep super late. It's Saturday. I don't work Saturdays, and went to sleep super late. Woke up late. Let's see here. So we got one person on, but they're not saying anything, which leads me to believe that it's somebody that I know. So yeah, it's super windy right now, which is kind of scary for me. The last time it was windy, the tree that belongs to the city in front of my house, one of the branches fell off and crushed my car and the neighbor's car. And no exaggeration, the branch is like, gosh, this round. There we go. We're in portrait mode. This wide, right? And then super long, like 30, 40 feet. And it took bulldozers to literally lift the branch off of my car and then chop it up into pieces and get rid of it. So when I called up the insurance company and said, oh, I had a branch on my car, they were thinking like a little branch. What they didn't know, it was this huge, probably a few thousand-pound branch. I mean, I guess that's what you call it. Stump? No, not a stump. Yeah, call them branches. So today is windy, and that tree is swaying back and forth, and there's 3 more giant limbs. Limbs, that's what you would call it. 3 more giant limbs. One of them is directly over my Mustang, and I can't put it anywhere else. And then one of them's over my other car, and it's making a creaking sound. It's like, and it's cracking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, do not fall on my car, please. So I did send the city a letter and said, hey, these limbs need to be cut off because it definitely poses a hazard. It's either going to fall on the house or the car. And right now I am under one of them. So I often wonder, like, am I going to be live streaming and have a branch or limb fall right through the car? God, that'd be a way to go out. I'd be all over the news. Guy live streaming gets crushed by a limb. Let's see. What do we got? So we got 3 people on, but nobody's okay. Samuel, hey, Defcon, I'm on my break right now, and you're right. Wind wears you down a lot quicker than most all-weather conditions while doing security. Yeah, the wind exasperates everything. Like, sometimes it's like 30 degrees outside, but then with the wind chill, it brings it up, right? So the wind just makes things worse. Allergies, just, you're trying to stand up and it's pushing against you. When you're driving, it becomes an issue. Dust flying through the air. It sucks. Like I said, it is the one element that I don't like. I can handle anything: rain, sleet, snow, heat, cold, you name it. Just the wind gets to me. Now, if it's super windy, like super fast, I don't know, gust of wind, I love it. I love it when I'm in the house and it's like 60-mile-per-hour winds outside. It's just kind of exciting. You just, to me, that feels like a hurricane. Now, I'm moving to North Carolina, so I'm really moving to like one of the most windiest places. They get hurricanes and you name it. If I'm complaining about California, I can't imagine North Carolina. Although the first time I went there, we went to the beach, and it was super windy that day. Just more wind than I'm used to. And what I didn't know, that was actually a mini hurricane. It was last July. God, time flies. It was last July, dude. So yeah. What we got here. It's only one comment. All right, I'll just keep rolling with it. Um, I imagine people like hearing about security content, but do let me know if you watch this video later. Do let me know. Do you want me to just talk about other things other than security, or life stories, things like that, or do you want me to just stay on topic? I mean, for all intent and purposes, it is a security guard channel, but should we start veering another direction with this? Because it just gets kind of boring talking about security, to be honest. I mean, the industry has so many YouTubers now that can really answer all your questions, including myself, but there's only so much I could say. And I do like talking to you folks. There's a handful of you guys that just really kind of keep in communication often with me, and I like it. It's cool. It's like a little family that we got here. But I also don't want to bore you guys by just saying, well, this is my loadout. This is what I carry every day. This is how I apply for jobs. It just, I don't want to get burned out saying the same things over and over. So all right. Well, Samuel, I'm guessing your break is over. So be safe out there, man. Have a good rest of the day. Saturdays, Sundays. Whenever you apply for a job, they always have you box in the days you can and cannot work. And I imagine everybody wants to like say that they can't work weekends, but you know that doing so will exclude you from that job. I have rarely found a job where they say, you don't have to work weekends. So I imagine a lot of my security guard folks right now are working. It is a Saturday. They always give us these odd days off, like Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then you end up missing out on the weekend with your family. And that's what I hate about working, dude. I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and he's torn because he's got this wonderful house, and the backyard's really good. I'm the one that I keep telling you to go to his website and subscribe. Fife Suburban Farms. He still hasn't put any content up. I think it'd be funny as hell if he had like 1,000 subscribers with zero content, but eventually he will. But yeah, so here's his dilemma. This guy loves gardening and building cool stuff in his backyard, and he's got a greenhouse and solar and you name it, right? And I told him, man, I think you need to sell your house in California and move to another state where you could take that money that's your house is worth, right? I won't say how much his house is worth, but let me just throw a number out there. Let's just say you bought a house for 400,000, and years ago in California, that house is definitely worth a million too, you name it, right? And I was telling him, sell your house, take that money and go buy another house in another state with more acreage, and the house would be paid off, and then plus you'll have money in the bank account. His dilemma is he has an awesome job out here in California, and he actually worked his way up to where he is. And if he were to start over anywhere, he would be at the bottom. And it's just a great job. So, he does have the dream job, I will admit. He really does. Um, and then we got to talking, and I'm like, it just sucks that we invest so much into a job. We sleep 30% of our life. We work 30% of our life. And then between maintenance and cleaning and all that, dude, we really have no time in life other than work and sleep. And I told him, I remember having a high school teacher, and I'll reference him because I'm going to be talking about him too a lot. His name was Mr. Brown, passed away a few years ago. Lyle Brown, one of the smartest people ever met in my entire life. But then, I told him about, I was in high school and I talked about work, and he says, the thing about work is it's a rat race. And whether you win or lose that rat race, you are still a rat. And I'm like, damn, couldn't have said it better. So I told my best friend that, I get it. You have a great job, and You know, you're winning that race, but at the end of the day, you're still a rat. If you have to work for somebody, you're a rat. And that's what can I say? That's why I want to start my own company. It does give you some financial freedom, some flexibility, but you know, I'm not fooling anybody when I say that starting your own company is just going to be an easy streak. Then you're still going to have headaches. You're going to have to deal with employees and call outs, and the list goes on. So at the end of the day, unless you're born rich, or you know you win the lottery, you're just kind of stuck. We're all in the same game. Let's see, we got some comments here. Dr. Anthony, do you recommend becoming armed security? Is it worth it? So Dr. Anthony, I did make a video probably 2 years ago that said being armed is not worth it, but back then I didn't know as much as I do now, and my answer is yes, being armed is worth it. You can certainly make 3 times, if not more, definitely more, um, than just being unarmed. Um, right now, unarmed, I think that I'm going to max out at finding a job at $30 an hour, unarmed. But armed, at this very moment, if I was armed, I guarantee you I can get a job in 1 month at 60 an hour. The interviewing process right now, interviewing unarmed, even with my resume, I'm not really getting people picking me up. But if I was armed, I'd be like a diva, and I could just interview and tell the people, hey, I'll call you back, because that's how few armed guards there are. And I'm speaking for California. It might be a little different elsewhere. You definitely make a lot more. I've gotten 2 emails this morning from 2 separate companies saying, hey, are you armed? I'd like to pick you up. And I said I wouldn't do it, and I just keep going back and forth. I keep saying, damn, maybe I will go armed again just for the money. But I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see where that goes. Samuel, he has a whole video on it if it's worth it. Yeah, I do. But like I said, Samuel, that video is outdated. At the bottom line is it is worth it. Just so you guys know, I've changed my you know, I should make an updated video. That's what I'm gonna do. Why are you bailing on the capital of the USSA? Bailing on the capital of the USSA. I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate on that? Why are you bailing on the capital of the USSA? So yeah, guys, we're all rats. When you wake up at 8 a.m., you punch in, you get out at 5, you look forward to that 2 days off just so you can sleep the whole day. We're not winning anything. Samuel, Defcon, have you ever been a loss and prevention specialist? For those of you who don't know, loss prevention specialists they're not specialists by any means, but basically the job is to try to prevent theft at stores. Yeah, I've been a loss prevention specialist, if you will. I mean, I was a guard at, okay, so I got hired to be an armed guard at the Dollar Tree, and I'm sure these are all over America, right? So you guys know what that is, the Dollar Tree. And I'm thinking, an armed guard at the Dollar Tree, that sounds like extreme. My main job was to make sure that there weren't any strong armed robberies at the Dollar Tree, because that particular Dollar Tree had tons of robberies. So I wasn't there to like stop petty theft, but I was there just to be a presence so that they wouldn't rob the cashiers. And I think within 6 months, that place had been strong armed robbed like 3 or 4 times, which was scary. Like, damn. So this is happening like almost every month. A couple guys run in, everybody on the ground, they rob the place. But when I was there, it just never happened. I had a real strong presence, I had a no nonsense attitude, and just didn't happen. I did have one guy try to grab my gun before, which was just like, I have it in one of my videos story, but somebody just went up to me and was like, bro, I could grab that gun from you so quick. And I was just standing there holding my vest, like looking at him like he was crazy. And he was with his buddy, and he just went down and tried to grab my gun, and I pulled my taser. And I'm like, are you effing stupid, bro? What the, you know? And then it ensued. Then he started walking toward me. He was like, "What, are you going to tase me? You going to tase me?" And he started getting closer and closer to me. And I'm thinking, crap. And then I saw his buddy on the aisle started walking toward me. I dropped the taser and pulled my handgun out. And this fool was still walking toward me. And I'm like, oh my God, why did I just drop my taser? I should have tased him, then pulled the gun. But I was new. I was literally, I think I was an armed guard for only 2 weeks at that time. But he still kept walking toward me now with my firearm. And I literally put a mental image. I'm like, if he passes this line, I have no option but to shoot, because his buddy had his hand in his waistband. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to draw on me. Dude, and that's the scary thing about being a new guard. They just throw you out there and you're like, shoot, and then life experiences help you come up with a better plan when things like that happen. But I was new at it. And so, yeah, but besides that incident, the only thing I ever did there was loss prevention. I would catch people stealing 15, 20 times a day. And I just call them out. I do have a video of me doing that. It's probably like a year and a half ago. I've got tons of videos, just a string of them, of me catching people stealing and then letting them go. Be like, bro, why did you steal food? Talk to them, and then I would pay for their food and let them have it or give them some advice. So, all right, let me see. I've got some more folks on here. The Dane says, hello, DEFCON. What's up? Dr. Anthony says, California is a communist state. I wouldn't limit it to California, bro. There's quite a few more that I can name, but I won't. But you get it. I'm glad you do get it. Samuel, that's the last place I would expect a strong arm robbery. And that's exactly why, Samuel. The fact is, people rob places that they know that are pretty lax. What's that word? Laxadoodle, when they're just chill and they, I'm not encouraging anybody to rob anywhere, but I mean, you're definitely not going to rob a police station, right? You're going to rob something like a convenience store where you think that maybe they're not expecting it. And that was the case with the dollar store. I mean, we did make at some point thousands of dollars a day, and that's really what crooks are. I mean, crooks will rob you for $5. We know this just by watching the news, but yeah, they would hit the stores. Let's see, Warden. So why is it your goal to start a security company? I mean, in some way, it's like creating a new extended family. Only because I have my mindset on it. I'm like, I know that it's an industry that I know. My last job, I was regional manager, and I really learned a lot as a regional manager of how things are run and what are the intricacies of running a security company. But I know the money is there. When the economy is bad, we need more security because people tend to steal more. When the economy is good, we need more security because people are shopping more. It's just one of those industries. It's not seasonal. You constantly make money. I know that there's a casino near my house, and they have one guard there, and that guard gets paid $25 an hour, and it's a 24-hour shift. The person that owns the company that has that guard had a conversation with me one time. He was like, yeah, I pay my guard $25 an hour to be there. And I didn't expect him to give me this answer. And I'm like, so how much are they paying you? He goes, well, I'm getting $50 an hour. So I'm like, wow. So you have a guard you're paying $25 an hour to. You're making $50 an hour. Excuse me. Yeah. And start doing the math. I'm like, after he pays his guard, he's left with $25 himself. Times that by 24 hours a day. Times that by 7 days a week. Times that by 1 year. I know he has expenses, obviously. But in 1 year, just that one contract, having one single guard, gets him more than $200,000 a year. This guy's making as much, if not more, than some doctors just by having one guard at one casino, one contract. And it's not just one guard. Let me be clear about this. He has a guard, and then that guard takes the shift of another guard. He has roughly 3 guards working 8-hour shifts every day. But but again, at the end of the day, this guy is making 200,000 off one contract. Can you imagine if he had 10 contracts, how much he would make? 20 contracts. So I know that industry can pay me the money I need. And it's not about the money, it's about the financial freedom to just wake up when I want to wake up, vacation when I want to vacation, and to just have more time to do things in life I want to do versus, you know, clocking in every day. Warden, let's see. Warden, as well, greetings. Hey, greetings to you, my man. Warden, that's a cool name. I'm like, no relation to any prison warden. Is that your job or is that just your screen name? All right, so we're at the 21-minute mark. I'm going to give it like 10 more minutes and then I'm going to log off. I don't know if I want to do videos every day. I've done it 3 days in a row now. And I just got to have people on to ask questions. Otherwise, I literally have no content right now. I do have things I can talk about, but I actually want to make those into like actual videos. I figure it's Saturday. People are either working or doing stuff. We've got 5 people on right now. Basically, definition of warden is to guard. Good to know. Interesting. You can teach an old dog new tricks. I've learned something new today. Yeah, and DEFCON 3 just means in a state of readiness, like you're ready to go, and always having your head on swivel. That's the DEFCON 3. But I've sort of turned it into something even more than that. Obviously, DEFCON 3 is just a way of life for me. It's my DEFCON way of doing things. Yeah, a little bit cringy, but it works for me. So going to the lake tomorrow. Gonna go kayaking, barbecue, things like that. I really look forward to that. So that's gonna be my Sunday. Wouldn't have any videos put out tomorrow just because of that. I'm thinking do like a live stream at least once a week, but shoot for more than once a week, maybe a few times a week. Depends on my job situation, you know. I'm pretty sure I've been picked up by another company. We'll see what the schedule looks like, and based on that schedule and my workload, we'll see how many videos I'll pull out. There are people that I follow online, and all they do is talk all day. I mean, they just literally talk, and I listen. And I listen to these guys when I'm driving and when I'm working on something in the garage. And I thought, I'd want to be one of those guys. Some people just want to hear me talk. And that's why I'm throwing it out to you folks, asking you guys, do you want me to just keep talking security? Or do we want to go off on tangents and talk about other things in life, like my thoughts on the state of the country or the economy or politics, religion, you name it. There's a lot more to who I am than just security. And I didn't know if you guys were interested in that. And if so, I'll start changing the topics. I also wanted to start answering just odd questions in life. Like, but I don't know if that would be a good separate channel or just kind of build off of this channel. But, like there's a question a few days ago that I looked into. What happens when CIA agents get pulled over? Like, what happens? And somebody asked a cop, have you ever pulled over a CIA agent? And what happened? And what was your response? And it was so interesting to hear his response and how they reacted. Or, some questions were like, have you ever, for those of you out there who've guarded a president in history, what was that like? Things like that. So all these weird questions. Samuel, how's your exotic bug business going? So yeah, I used to sell bugs. Samuel, it sort of like fizzled out, but not because the business was bad. It's because I made some bad business decisions. Mostly what happened is I had a really good job that was paying me so much money. And then I had a second job Then at another company, I was promoted to regional manager. I was making enough money, but not didn't have enough time. Now, at one point, I had hundreds of exotic insects and I was selling them, and they were selling out like crazy. But feeding them every day just took all the free time I had. So I had jumping spiders, for example, right? I had like 200 jumping spiders. Literally have to open up a container, spray water in there, throw a little fruit fly, close the container, put it back. That took about 35 seconds. Another container, 35 seconds. So that's 1 minute right there. Times that by hundreds every single day. It took me hours every day just to feed all these different insects. And then after you sell them, you have to package them up, go to the post office. It was literally a part-time job and I just didn't have time to do it. So ultimately, I just let a lot of the insects go that were native to this area. The other ones, I just sold them off. And it's funny you bring that up because this morning it told me something like, oh, you've got 100 unique views on your exotic bug site that's on like Facebook Market. And I'm like, and I still have people messaging me daily. And some other guy that was selling the same jumping spiders as me wrote just a few days ago, sorry, we are out of jumping spiders. Try us again next year. And I'm like, damn, I could literally go in my yard right now and find probably 50 of them because they're native to this area and they're just so easy to catch. But the other thing is I don't like catching wild insects and selling them. I only like selling the bred ones because I just feel bad taking anything from the wild, shipping it through the mail to somebody far away, and then, having its lifespan be decreased because of me, even down to a spider. I just feel bad. All right. Dr. Anthony, I'm pretty sure most of us would be interested in whatever else you may have to speak on. You seem like a pretty smart and grounded guy. Yeah, I appreciate that. The only thing I don't have going for me is I don't speak English correctly. I have this weird accent. Some people are like, oh, are you from New York, or you name it. So what it is I was born in Oakland. So I have a little bit of that ghetto accent to me. But I speak a lot of languages. And English, believe it or not, is not my first language. I know some of you guys know this, some of you don't. But English isn't my first language. And for that reason, I have to like formulate thoughts or words. Whenever I speak, I try to pull words out of the air. Like, okay. You know, just like in Croatian, the word for electricity is struja. And I can't tell you how many times I talk to somebody and I say something like, oh, this guy was going to get an electrical shock. And I have to stop from saying, you got a struja shock, because my brain pulls that word first. And then I have to block and say, no, don't pull that word. That's not English. And then, replace it. And I do this constantly. And then sometimes I overthink it and say, okay, don't accidentally start speaking something else. And because of this, it slows down my thought process. And when I speak to you guys, you may not notice it, but I actually really struggle to try to find the right words. And then words like school, sometimes I'll say, I went to school, and people are like, school? It's school. Pronounce it, pronounce it out. Don't just say school or cool. It's cool. And again, it's just so that hinders me sometimes. All right. It's the Bay Area accent. Yeah, it is. It's the Bay Area accent mixed with a couple other things. And then when I move to the East Coast soon, I'm going to have sort of this country twang to me as well. And I can't imagine what I'm going to sound like, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have like so many different accents mixed into one vocabulary. All right. Well, guys, that's it. Let's just call it a day. We're about to hit the 30-minute mark. I really just wanted to check in and say hi to folks out there, and just to keep this channel moving so I don't become obsolete in the algorithm from not posting any content. I did go quite a while between posting content, and I'm just going to try not to do that again. As always, if you have any questions, you could always email me. I'm there to answer any questions for you folks. I'll take the time out to do that. I've been trying to be better about that lately. Um, moving forward, okay, maybe I'll just start talking about random things in life every day. Give you guys a few stories. I just don't want to bore you with my stories, but I have lived a Forrest Gump life and have had some crazy things happen to me that are almost unbelievable. Like people would just say, this guy's got so many stories. I wonder how much of it's true, how much of it's not. I'm telling you, man, I've got ways to vouch that my stories were true. I've just happened to be at the right place at the right time, or I've just been an adventurous person and made my destiny, and my destiny has led to like crazy things in life. So there you go. Nobody else is saying anything. So good. Perfect time to log off. Hey guys, thanks so much for being part of the channel today. Know your worth, know your value, value your time, and above all, be safe.